I've got a total disaster out here. Somebody has come move my cover back just like you see it there. The wind didn't blow it that way, somebody did it. I suspect it's somebody in the house. They wanted something I had out here under the cover, so they got it and they didn't bother to cover it back up. Well, the rain has doused everything. All my stuff that you didn't want to get wet has got wet. My potting soil that I had mixed up and it was dry, now it's soaked. I've drilled holes in the bottom of this thing so that it'll dry. I was able to pour some of it out. Now my daughter says that she thinks people's coming up here and getting stuff. Well, my point is, if they come up here and raise this tarp up and they leave like that, my saw, my drill, all those tools, none of that stuff's gone. None of the stuff that, like, if someone's up here to steal something, they would get. So it's some little something they wanted up here. And all of my stuff, like these little peat pots and stuff, didn't want them getting wet. So I'm trying to dry them out. I don't know. I've just totally got a mess. I'm about to think I ain't gonna be able to do this out here. But I'll tell you what, it's got me aggravated, I can tell you that. You know what? I was just out here looking. This I don't know what you call them, but these things here, I call them mother-in-law tongues. Glad to have them. What I do, I'm gonna turn off. Well, where did it go? I guess Tracy brought them over to me. I'm gonna have to. Wow. She's brought me a lot of stuff. You know, I'm 80 years old, so I'm old enough to be somebody's grandpa. And I've often wondered about things about my grandfather, both of them. Especially the one on my mother's side. I try to look up things on his history, on his family history stuff, and I hit a brick wall. I can't find out nothing. My granddaddy Pearson, I can go back to the 1700s. But there's things I wish I could have asked my granddaddy. Uh, yes, there's things I would like to have asked him. I would like to ask him about things when he was like a teenager and what was going on in his life and how him and Grandmama met and stuff like that. I know that Grandmother was a devout Seventh-day Adventist, and Granddaddy, not so much. But then again, I don't know. Because he donated a piece of land to this Seventh-day Adventist church. And that church is still there. It wasn't much. It probably was about a half acre or something like that. It wasn't very big. And but he donated that, and he built the church. He was a pretty good carpenter. But you know, I don't know so much about my granddad as far as what he did for a living. I know he worked on the railroad some. But as far as what he did most of his life, I don't know. I can tell you this, he was born in the 1800s. He was born around 18... He was born around 1890, somewhere right in there. And he was from Triplet, Virginia. I don't think Grandmama was as old as him, but I'm pretty sure she was born in the 1800s too, and she died in 1953. Granddaddy died about 1968, something like that. But it's just things I would like to ask him. So, since I'm 80, that means I'm old enough to be some of y'all's granddaddy. And if there's something you would like to ask, if you got a granddaddy that was 80 or in that area, and there's things about you'd like to ask him back in the day when he was a kid, and there, maybe I can give you some, and I can't give you about his personal life, but I could give you some answers about the times. I don't know why we don't think to ask what it was like when my grandpa was a kid. And it just didn't. You know that guy across the street, we got off on the wrong foot, and then we got okay, and he's mowed our grass a couple of times out here. And he comes over here and he mows this grass and he mows the house behind. It's all owned by the same person. But he'll come over here and mow theirs, and then he'll leave ours sitting like this. So we haven't asked him to mow our grass. He just said, originally he said, I'll mow it one time for free. So maybe he wants us to offer him something. Well, we don't have nothing to offer. But we have got to scrounge around and get a lawnmower, but he leaves us sitting like this for a while. So, and it's not a big yard, but somebody come over here and mow it, they want like $30 or $40. We don't have that. But now, if you got something you would like to ask about back in your grandpa's time and stuff, you can ask me. Maybe I can shed some light on it. I've noticed that when you open our refrigerator, right now not so much, but if you want something cold to drink, it's going to be Pepsi's or something like that. But they don't keep ours in the refrigerator anymore. But back when I was a kid, there was always a big jug of ice water in the refrigerator. That was always in it. If you got a Pepsi or a Coke or something like that, it was not often. It didn't happen a lot. Oh, it was water. You had to drink water. And it was just a luxury, to have a Coke or a Pepsi, and you didn't bring them. Because, back then they were in glass bottles and they were returnable bottles. They had a deposit on them. They were, far back as I can remember, they were 2 cents. Then they went to 3 cents. Then they had the big quart size, like a Canada Dry or something. Those were a nickel, the deposit. And I was always going around collecting bottles when I could see them laying around or something, take them to the store and sell them to the store for 2 cents a bottle. I don't know if my granddaddy did that. Now, I imagine if he did, it was Coca-Colas, RCs, and Orange Crush. But that I'm thinking about when I was a kid. And I like True-Aid. That was a non-carbonated, orange-flavored drink. I love them True-Aids. And I can't remember just when drinks started going. It hasn't been that long ago. Because I can remember 30 years. I can remember 30, 40 or 50 years ago, there were still deposits on the drinks. And that was a lot of work. If you come around in a Pepsi or a Coke truck, you'd have to pick up empties and take them back. And so that was a lot of work back then. And I can remember that in the 80s. It wasn't as much then. Kids would always go around trying to find empty bottles to take to the store and buy and sell them. But yeah, if you had something that you'd like to ask your grandpa, but it's too late, he's passed on, he's gone, or he's in dementia or something like that, and he don't know squat. But you can ask me, things you want to ask your grandpa, or things you're going to ask your grand. You know, things that how it was at certain years and stuff. Like I've got this one subscriber. Her name is Lisa Kleckner, and I like to think me and her's really clicking. You know, I like her. I'm assuming she likes me, and but she's 51, so that means she was born in 1969 or 1970. My daughter was born in December of 1970. So maybe I could, if she wanted to know something about the times, you know, in the 70s. That stuff's still fresh in my mind. If she wants to know something, maybe I can shed some light on it. But that's kind of what I would like to do. You know, things you want to ask your grandpa, but you can't. He's gone, or health is bad and he doesn't know anything, something like that. You can ask me. You can ask the junk garber. And a lot of my subscribers call me Poppy, call me their adopted grandpa. So, and just think, if I can live another 20 years, I could be answering questions about stuff that happened 100 years ago. Because, well, I could be asked about when I'm about 10 to 90 years ago. 100 years ago, I wouldn't know. I'd be a baby, you know, so. But anyhow, that's kind of the way I'm leaning on doing my channel, and I'm having trouble. And I'm going to show you this thing that I know Tracy brought these. Look at those, Tracy. I mean, Lisa. They got all these little things that they'll grow a 1,000 plants, they would call, or something. But she's got those 2 stalks of those. I wonder, I can plant that one. Now these here, I call these mother-in-law tongues. What do you call them, Lisa? Okay. This one has nice roots on it, so I'm going to go ahead and plant them. I don't know if you can root these or not, but I know Tracy brought me these. So it's getting late right now, so I'll get them in the dirt tomorrow. But mother of thousands, I think some people call them that. But anyhow, guys, if you want to ask me something about how things was in such and such a year and stuff like that, and that's Amarillo, and I don't know why she got that. I'm gonna have to drill some holes in that tomorrow. These here, that squash is not looking too good. They might not have got pollen out. There's a male and a female bloom, and I'm thinking that's not working so great on this thing. And anyhow, I kind of got it clean. I got a mess. I mean, everything got soaked. And I need to put these. I've got. I've got some crepe myrtles rooted. I need to get them started. Anyhow, guys, all about Grandpa. If there's anything about how life was back then, I mean, been around. You know, I lived in North Carolina, I lived in Virginia, I lived in Maryland, I lived in Germany, I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Winder, Georgia, Jacksonville, Florida, Ocala, Florida, Germany. So I've been around, and a lot of places I've been, I didn't actually live there, I just visited. So I got some kind of knowledge about how things were. So if there's anything you want to ask me that maybe could relate to your grandpa or your grandmother or something, shoot me some questions, guys. And I'm going to start talking about stuff that's way back when, you know. Matter of fact, somebody sent me an email. It was kind of smirky. No, you can't do that. Well, the hell you say you can't do that, because I was there, been there, done that. And I'm talking about mayonnaise. Mayonnaise, back in the day, never saw the inside of the refrigerator. And yes, I guess it could spoil, but mayonnaise, usually those things didn't last long. And our mayonnaise never was put in the refrigerator. It was set in the cabinet, and it got gone before it had a chance to spoil. But it never, I guess it's because there's vinegar and stuff in it, you know, but no, you can't do that. Yes, you can. I'm sorry, my friend, you can do it. Been there, done that. And same thing on eggs. You don't, if you use them pretty quick, I mean, granted it's best if you refrigerate them. But back in the day, they didn't, they sit in a bowl on the counter somewhere in the kitchen. And you always tested them to see if they were still good or bad. You know, by dropping them in the water. If they sink, they're bad. You just throw them out. But a lot of things never hit the refrigerator. You didn't have a dang refrigerator. You had an ice box. And the only thing that kept it cool in that ice box was a big block of ice that you bought every day or two, you know, and it went in the top of the ice box. And that kept stuff down at the bottom cool. Didn't have no freezer. You didn't have no frozen food. So, but that guy told me, no, you can't do that. Well, yes, you can do that. And I'm not guessing about it. I'm just telling you can do that. And occasionally we do it. There's a jar of mayonnaise right now sitting in there in the cabinet that's been open 2 or 3 days. And I've just been meaning to put it in the refrigerator, but just hadn't done it. But there's a lot of things you used to do that they don't do now. But folks, you younger people, when the old person says, well, you could That we didn't put mayonnaise in the fridge. You take that to the bank, because we was there. We done that. But if you want to put it in the refrigerator, put it in the refrigerator. We do that. We put it in the refrigerator. But we don't, we're not religious about it. But you can, and there's a lot of things that goes in the refrigerator now that doesn't go in the refrigerator. And that's my story, friends, and I'm sticking to it. I'll see you in the next one, and guess what? My next video is going to be about washing, how my grandma washed clothes, how my mama washed clothes, and we didn't have automatic washers. We had a wringer type washer, you know. My grandma, she didn't use that. She had a pot out there on the fire and had it full of hot water and washing the clothes in that and rinsing them and stuff like that. That's the next video coming up. So, have a good one, folks. I've got to go in. So I'll see you in the next one. Any questions, shoot them. I'm here to answer them if I can.